I could stay like this, forever following you.
Hello everyone, Abby here at Purple Cottage Crafts, and I am so excited to share this video with all of you. I have been absolutely in love with all these gorgeous vintage linens and some trinkets and different trims and hat box and everything ever since I found these goodies at an amazing, probably the most amazing vintage fabric slash antique slash I guess vintage clothing store. And when we were visiting Jeff and Angie a few months ago in Montana, Angie took me to this awesome shop, and I'll hold up my phone here so I can show it to you. Hopefully the camera doesn't go weird, but it's called Rediscoveries. Oops. It's called Rediscoveries Vintage Clothing, and that's it. And Brian is the owner. Now, he has not created an online space yet, but we're hoping that he will do that, because I would shop from him for sure from afar as well as in person again. But this is Brian. I was going to get a picture of him with me, but I completely forgot. I was just in this shop and I was just so overloaded with all of the fabrics. I mean, just piles and mountains of linens. I've never seen this much in my life ever before, ever. And it was just awesome. So before I get into this real quick, I do want to say at the end of this video, I will have photos that I took of the shop, as well as a little video that I filmed with Brian's permission, of course, for my YouTube channel. So I'll have that at the very end in case you are curious as to what the shop looks like and everything. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of get right into this, because I have got quite the mountain of stuff to share. So first off, we'll do these. These are some adorable, absolutely adorable 1950s Kramer and picture set that actually Angie, I think, found these in a cabinet, because my face was in the piles of fabric, so I wasn't even paying any attention to the actual antique part of it. But I got these to display in my craft room because they're purple and they're vintage, and that's what I'm all about. So I love those babies. Do the hat box next. Now, I kind of sort of unofficially collect hat boxes as well, especially if they're purple. Mostly if they're purple, doesn't matter what size, but this one is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. He had a huge array of hat boxes in his shop, and I stored some of my things, my treasures, in here for the trip home. But I love this hat box. One of these days when I get my room, all the decor and stuff done, I will do a tour kind of all of my, I guess, or a share of all of my different vintage hat boxes and things that I have. So this pile here, these were originally into balls, like these balls of fabric here, but I shared some of the stuff with Angie, so I unwound it. But this is actually vintage silk, like nylons, and like from the war. And so here's the brown, or the tan, I guess, or whatever color you would. So this is like vintage hosiery right here, and they would just take it and turn it into, because they would repurpose it, and they would use it for trim and all kinds of fun stuff. And here's this huge pile of this gorgeous lavendery kind of lilac-y color. So much of that. I have some vintage wooden spools I'm gonna bind or wind this on eventually. And then these two here, this is just another ball of some vintage fabric and strips, and I love that. Now, you might be thinking these aren't typically Abby colors, because there's, not everything I have has to be purple, but most of it. Okay, let's just get real. But I love creating with these colors as well, because I make things to sell, so not everything I make needs to be purple or Abby's, personal style or whatever. But I love that fabric. I'm really excited about it. The same with this one as well. And I have no idea if there's another color inside like there was with the vintage nylons. I'll find out, I guess, when I start going through them. So vintage hankies, let's get those out of the way. He had bags and bags and bags and bags, and I'm not talking like a grocery bag. I'm talking like bags that you would put like a mattress cover in, or like when you go buy new bedding at the store, bags like that, full of just tons, I mean, just probably thousands of hankies. And I had limited time in there. I mean, I got to be in there for longer than I originally thought I was going to be, because, we were running around doing stuff. And so the guys were off doing their thing, and Angie and I were in the shop, and I just, oh my gosh, I tried to grab as much as I possibly could in that time and still get a chance to look around and talk to him. Someone's going to show him as I'm gabbing. And, but he just had so many hankies. And what's really cool, something else that's really cool about Brian, we got to chatting after my first visit there, because I actually went back there. This is so pretty. I went back there a second time to go get something else real quick that I had my eye on the first time, and we got to talking, and he's an actor, and so he is a huge classic movie fan and buff, and so he and I for probably 15 minutes were geeking out over our favorite actors and actresses and movies and which ones we liked and which ones we didn't, and it was just awesome. It was just awesome. He was like, man, I wish we could have time to sit down and just visit. He had mentioned that when I went back the second time by myself. And, he got my number and I got his and stuff. And we're going to, chit chat about different vintage things and movies and whatnot. What does it say? Oh, Vancouver, Canada. So that's really cool. Really pretty. Because he was just curious about, how I'm going to be incorporating these, because a lot of quilters will come to his shop because he has so much yardage and different things. And I don't make quilts proper, but I told him I do a lot of hand stitching, slow stitching, fabric journals, things like that. And so he was kind of intrigued by that. And I had said that I would, give him links to my YouTube channel and send him pictures as I'm working on this one. It's absolutely gorgeous. This is so pretty. I love it. It's so pretty. Look at that. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So quite a bit, well, most of this is going to be in the Hoard Vault for quite a long time. I will tell you that, because when you're shopping in a vintage / antique clothing shop, it's full of things that are rare and hard to find and one of a kind type of thing. And sometimes when you're doing that, those vintage prices will also be reflected into the item you're purchasing. So I had no problems paying the price that he was asking for certain things, or else I wouldn't have them, because I am such a lover and a collector of this kind of stuff. So these types of things, especially this one, these will never be cut up to use in a project or anything like that, because I love these. They're purple and they're old and I love them. So here's a few more. I don't remember the price per all of the fabric or by the yard, but I think it started at like $14.99 a yard. But this is like legit vintage fabric. This isn't a reproduction. When I get to these are like the real deal, like from the 20s and the 30s. I have some from the 40s. So not just beautiful, but he has quite a bit of a pretty good client base from what he was saying. Is that like the other one I have? Oh, kind of, sort of, but not really. So pretty. So he's got a lot of people, and luckily when we were there, it was just the two of us in there, and his shop is big, but it's so full of stuff it looks small. So I was glad that it was just the two of us and then Brian, because it would be kind of hard to look over other people. When you see the pictures in the video at the end, you'll see what I'm talking about. But look at this really cool this old tag on here. He said this was like his tag. These were his tags from like years, like 20 years ago, and so that was still on there. I thought that was really cool. So this is really pretty. Really awesome. I love it. And then now, let's see here. I guess we'll kind of do the flour sack stuff, since that's kind of like what's up right here now. So, the cotton feed sack, excuse me. So this one is Blue Roses. I don't know what year these are from roughly, but he, on my other pieces here, he did mention on the paper here what year they were from, but this is just absolutely beautiful. And here it is as looks like a little pillowcase. It's so pretty. I was going to do this live, you guys, but I cannot for the life of me find where I safely tucked away my webcams. So I've been waiting for weeks to do that, and I'm just like, you know what? I need to get this stuff put away, because I have it in a big box on my floor, and plus I want to display some of it. So I thought I'm just going to go ahead and do it as a regular video. But I thought it'd been fun to do a live and kind of chit chat with you guys and show this fabric too. So isn't this just absolutely gorgeous? Oh my gosh, I love it so much, so much. I don't think this is one of the, I think this was just some, oh, this was just like a panel of some vintage fabric that I picked up. And then here are some of the cotton flour sacks. I bought 3. I bought all of the feed sacks that he had in purple, in this print anyway, because purple. And they're just gorgeous. What's that cut up? Let me get my scissors here. I don't want to tear it. Let's just do a little cut right there. Alright, and I'm trying to see if there's a date on these. It just says Purple Roses Feed Sack. Let's see if this one has a date. Yeah, no date on that one. And I think it's probably pretty hard for him to date some of the fabric if he doesn't, if the person or the venue he's purchasing it from, the estate sale or whatever, doesn't have that information, but you can definitely tell when you are a, have experience being like a collector and do vintage things, or things like that, you can kind of tell what's old and what's kind of like a reproduction or whatever. And this stuff is like the real deal, and I just love it. So these are definitely in the hoard vault. They're going in my pie safe upstairs with my purple vintage quilts that I will never use. I just want to look at them and pet them. So this one is roughly 1950s to 1960s colonial print cotton on there. And I thought this was just such a fun, unique print. And I bought the 2 pieces that he had available. Some in his shop, some of the items are priced just like per the length. Like maybe you only had like a little bit of it, like a half a yard or whatever. And then he does actually have vintage fabric like on the bolt, like the original bolt, which is this amazing. But I thought this was just such a fun print. I love the colors in it. And I'd love to make some great journals and different projects like that. So I bought both of the chunks that he had. This one, the second one's a little bit bigger, but I bought both of the chunks that he had available. Let me start putting some stuff in the hat box there. And next up we have 1930s to 1940s blue rose feed sack. I thought this was absolutely beautiful too. I just love this color. Now I'm not a huge yellow fan. I'm going to tell you, actually I'm not a yellow fan at all, but I like this because I think this would be great for a couple project ideas I have in mind that I would put up to sell. But I think these are just gorgeous. This print, I really do love it. It's very, very pretty. And I'm surprised because I don't like yellow, but I like how this looks for some reason. When you see the project, you'll know what I mean. All right, so now I have some more, and these are just the plain ones, the plain flour sacks, except for this one. It's got this really fun stripe down the side. And this one's pretty big. It goes from here to here. You can see that it's the sack. And it's got that really nice stripe down the side. It's not really ticking. I think it's just a stripe. I'm not sure what you call it exactly. And a lot of the stuff you can see, it's aside from being old, some of it's been faded just because of being, maybe the way the family had it stored or whatever. So, but I don't care. I love that. That just adds the character to me, and I'm all about that. Now, these are just some plain ones. They're different sizes. They're all actually sacks. Some have a little bit more distressing to them, like a little bit more wear and tear. And I had more, but of these, I bought a pretty good chunk of these, and then I gave Angie, I think, 1 or 2. I can't remember exactly. But these will be great for some back. Matter of fact, I've already been working on some slow stitch tags, fabric tags and stuff with the pieces that I've already purchased. One of the flour sack towels. So this is a large feed sack, late 1930s to 40s, and of course I had to get that because the purple on there. So these fabrics and things like from the 20s and the 30s, I just cannot see myself actually using them. I don't know why. I just love old things. I've been a collector since I was like a preteen of antique things and all that, and a lifetime collector of purple stuff, of course. But this is just so gorgeous. I don't know. I don't think I could ever bring myself to even maybe a little tiny piece of it, and I could do some slow stitching. I don't know. We'll see. So here are some quilt tops that he had, and I'm sure the quilters that come from wherever they come from, they come to his shop, they are just in heaven, I'm sure, because he had a lot of quilt tops pieces like this in different quilt squares, and like the backs of old quilts and tons of old quilts. It was just, I mean, I just was just really awesome. And I grabbed this one because of the purples on it. Not a fan of those two so much, but that's okay. It's the look. I love it, And this is from 1930s quilt block, that says. And then this one here, I got it as well because it was, had the purple 1930s. I'm not a fan of this here, but it's just part of it. So, but I really do think these are so pretty. I love the purples in there and the hexagon. It's like, English paper piecing there, which I am into as well. This one here, when I went the second day, I went back to buy, I think it was, what fabric was it I bought? I think it was this one, because I saw this one, and then he told me he had another bolt of some purple fabric, a couple bolts, and I wanted this one. I didn't get it the first day, but I did, and I got this the second day as well. And then when I was leaving the store, heading back down to the car, he came running down the sidewalk, and he was like, Abby, and I was like, who's calling me? I'm like, I don't know anybody here except for Jeff and Angie. I was like, who's calling me? I was like, oh, duh, it's Brian. So he came running down the street and he gave this to me for free. And I was just like so appreciative. And he just told me he appreciated, you know, my business and, you know, especially with life of COVID right now. And, you know, he just really said he really enjoyed talking to me about the old movies and my passion for the vintage items and the fabrics and everything. So I thought that was very, very sweet of him to do that. So I'll hold this up so you can see that info there. 1950s. So it just looks, but this is just so cool. I love it. He was like, yeah, I could see people, you know, using it for pillowcases or like a window balance or whatever. I'll use it for something. I have quite a bit of yardage here, so I have no problem cutting into this one a little bit anyway. So there's that. This one here. This one just had, it kind of had a little bit of some offcuts. That's how it came from when he purchased it, from wherever he purchased it, and that's fine with me. I don't care about that because, you know, I can use little bits of fabric for slow stitching projects and things like that. So isn't that just gorgeous? So pretty. So much purple. I don't understand you folk that don't like purple. Something's wrong with you. This is a 1930s lavender feed sack. There's this one. So I have a couple more that were kind of tucked over here. But I thought, oh my goodness, I've never seen in all my searching, it's not like in a sack, but it's the material for the sack. You can see some like aging, like some rust in different spots and stuff. That is just, I love it, love it, love it, love it. But I've never seen solid purple vintage, you know, fabric for, you know, for the flower, for the flowers, or the feed sacks, excuse me. I keep wanting to say flower sack. And here is another one. I don't think this one had a tag on it, but this is the same thing, but it was just the actual yardage of it. Instead of it being in a proper sack, and I just thought that was so pretty. I just love that. Just gorgeous, gorgeous. And then got a couple of these 1930s. And these were I like how he writes it, a scant 2/3 of a yard, but these are from the 1930s. So I bought both of the two that he had anyway, and this is folded in half, so it's, you know, twice as long as what you're seeing there. And I thought this was just absolutely beautiful too. So it's like a stiffer kind of a cotton, and I like it because I, you know, want to be using some of this, like I said, for decor in both my upstairs and downstairs room. So, and since I have two pieces, I might take a little bit off. I don't know, but this stuff is definitely going to sit in my hutch upstairs until I have had it for quite a while before I decide anything, even on this, because I just can't just cut into everything right away. I just can't do that, especially when it's purple. So this here is a 1930s purple cotton coverlet, cut down and shortened. So I don't know what size of bed it was from, a queen or whatever, but I thought this is just so beautiful. So this will never be cut. This will always be the way it is. You see it right here, and this will get folded up nicely and put into my pie safe upstairs with my other vintage quilts and bed linens and things like that. And I just think it's so pretty. I love it. Just kidding. So this one here, I tried to see where the tag was, because some things, almost everything I bought was priced or tagged at least, and a few things were not, because, you know, he's always putting things out and whatnot. I don't remember how much or what year this is from, excuse me. The prices, I'm not telling you that because it doesn't matter, because these are like, you know, one-of-a-kind type of things for the most part, unless you're buying it by the yard. But this is just so gorgeous. This is like a bed coverlet, I'm guessing. Or maybe, because that'd be a pretty big tablecloth. I don't know. Maybe it is a tablecloth. I don't know. But it has these numbers on the corner. It says T30, and somebody hand wrote those. This one looks like it's stamped. But this one, these ones right here look like they're handwritten. But this is just beautiful. I wish I had a way to open this up all the way and show you guys. Maybe I'll just take it upstairs and lay it on our bed and try to take a picture. But this is the middle. You can just see this, how beautiful this is. Just absolutely gorgeous. Ooh, I'm trying to get this open here. You can just see all of this work. Oh, you know what? It was like a table. Okay. Wait, no, it's folded in half. Is it? It is. So yeah, I guess I'm guessing this was probably like a bed covering. It could be a tablecloth. I don't know. I've never seen a table in a house that's this big before, but that doesn't mean that's not what it's made for. I don't know. But look how beautiful that is. All the intricate work, that handwork. Oh, and it smells that old kind of fabric-y smell. I just love it. Just just absolutely love it. I guess that's it. I thought I had a couple more things, but I don't think so. I thought I had... I guess that is it. That's all I bought from there. Well, it was enough, let me tell you that. But anyway, so I'm just really excited about having all of these gorgeous vintage goodies and linens in my possession. Some I will use, as I mentioned, but the majority I will hoard because that's what I do. And I'm just really excited about it. So if you want to see the photos and the little video I filmed inside his shop, just keep watching because I'll put that at the end, like I mentioned. And you'll definitely be seeing, you know, these when I do like my official, you know, new craft room tour type of thing, and how I display these in my room and what I put in them, you know, because I have things that are decorative, but they also need to be functional to some degree because I need to make sure I'm utilizing all my space, whatever. But I thought these were just super cute. So anyway, so Angie, thank you for taking me to that shop. It was absolutely amazing, and I definitely will be back. I will let you all know when Brian decides to do an online, like whether it be Etsy or if he's going to do a website. I don't know how he's going to do it, but we were talking to him about, you know, he could just do like even little fabric packs, like, you know, putting together like for slow stitching or half yard pieces or even quarter yard or fat quarters. I mean, he has so much stuff in there. I mean, just laces and big things of buttons and just all kinds of antique stuff. It was just tons of haberdashery stuff and millinery items. It was just, I mean, I could have spent like a week in there for sure. And I'm looking forward to going back there again someday, hopefully. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video and you liked all my purple goodies. And if you don't want to watch the video of the shop or anything, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day. Stay safe and stay healthy. And for those of you who do want to watch the video at the end of this little clip, thank you for watching. So I will see you guys in my next video. So bye for now.
I could stay like this, forever following you. Just don't get too far, and I'll be right where you are. You're a dream that I could finally see. I just want us to always be, to always be. Let's stay here.